Takže to je Bethesda, game design Bethesdy byl zastaralý už před 10 lety. OK.
I have made not one, but
slyšet?
2 separate videos claiming that Blank's game design is outdated. And while I'm very proud of those videos, and I pretty confidently stand by those critiques, I wasn't planning on ever using the same outdated title again because I just didn't want it to become this gross YouTuber-y series where I'm just the outdated guy.
What is up, gamers? Welcome back to part 39 of Outdated Stuff. Today, we're going to be taking a look at this expired banana on my counter. If that ain't outdated, then you better call the dog catcher because it must be raining cats and dogs out here. But when thinking about the past 10 years of Bethesda Game Studios' catalog, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, a billion more versions of Skyrim, and now Starfield,
there is not a more succinct or accurate word to describe how I feel about these games. I have personally made things...
Já bych teda člověče řekl, ale že třeba Skyrim fakticky neměl jako outdated design. Já bych teda dokonce bych se nebál říct, že Skyrim, když vycházel, tak měl docela groundbreaking design. Protože všichni ostatní, takový ty... Pamatujete si takový ty starý RPGčka, který měl takový ten úplně klasický, nalajnovaný třeba systém ovládání. A některý ještě používal takový ty klasický Windowsácký rolety třeba. To si pamatuju, tak to právě třeba Skyrim úplně rozbil, že jo. Ale Skyrim je kdy? 2011, no. Ty vole, to je strašně dlouho zpátek tohle.
Things that some people did not like and criticized, and that's great. Honestly, that's fine. That's exactly how it should be. Why am I saying that right now?
Just to say that I know what it feels like. I want to make it clear that I have a lot of respect and appreciation for the hardworking individual devs that crunch 12-hour days to release AAA games on time that we all get to play.
Thank you for making video games, everyone who makes video games out here in the prairie.
So I promise I don't mean to be hyperbolic or dramatic just for the sake of it when I say I am truly baffled by Starfield. It is seriously shocking to see just how little this game attempts.
Já jsem kámo naprosto nadšený, že to konečně někdo řekl, ty vole. Jakože opravdu jsem úplně zaražený z toho, že existují lidi, kterým se skutečně líbil Starfield. A jsem zaražený z toho, že skutečně existují lidi, kteří neironicky, zadarmo, za to, že si koupili tu hru, doteďka ještě hrajou Starfield. Nechápu to.
Attempts to improve or even successfully reuse the same formula and same Frankenstein game engine that Bethesda have been selling to their fans for well over a decade. I cannot understand how this is the space adventure Todd Howard has dreamt of making for 25 years and cooked in the oven for 8.
But I wanted to try. I really wanted to understand. I wanted to love this troubled game so badly.
And I stayed committed to this relationship for hours and hours and hours, ignoring every possible red flag that came my way. But I can't do it anymore. And I feel like I have to make this video just purely for my own sanity.
No, this one is for me, because this damn space game changed me.
No tak, ono se kámo stačí podívat na to, jak vypadá teďko ta nová space hra od Seana Murrayho, že jo, který dělal No Man's Sky. Jako ty kráso, to vypadá teprve jako pořádná space hra. Jo. To je Skyrim?
People often describe Bethesda.
To je Skyrim? Moment. Já se potřebuji zorientovat uši. Ano. Vždyť to je fantasy. My víme, že to je fantasy. To je Oblivion. To není Oblivion, to je Skyrim, ty blbče. Kdo to z vás do prdele napsal? Mukade, děláš si ze mě fucking píču? What the fuck? Mám kdo zesílit? Já už teda nemůžu, jako jo, ale... Bože. Ty, to je takový analfabet. Tohle byste se měli učit v hudební výchově, kurva. Bože, může to je Skyrim. Nic jdeme dál.
The games as Bethesda games, but what does that even mean?
In 2011, I would have said open world action RPG where you could go anywhere, do anything, good or evil, knight or wizard, but you're definitely going to be a sneak archer like every single time without fail. To me, it meant giant world with total player freedom to do what they wanted to do. Don't like someone? Shoot them in the face.
Ještě to točil úplně jednu věc, že mi teda přijde, že jako i na dnešní dobu má Skyrim strašně velkou mapu. Že nevím, jak to třeba jako vnímají dneska hráči. Někdo mi třeba říká, že GTA 5 mapa není zase tak velká. Dá přijde, že je úplně zbytečně velká. A že prostě i třeba Skyrim, který je teda 12 let starý, tak je prostě pořád extrémně veliký a hlavně jako plný kontentu, což je skoro až jako neuvěřitelný, mi přijde dneska, jo.
Want someone's stuff? Sneak behind their waist. Want to climb that mountain? Hump it on the face.
Fallout 3 was my first Betty game after convincing my dad that, nah, dude, it's not violent at all. You don't have to be violent. You could choose to be good and talk your way out of every situation. Which was total fucking bullcrap.
Yes, these games might be RPGs, but they heavily lean on the action part of action RPG. Can you sometimes do quests non-violently? Definitely. But more often than not, your to-do list revolves around you killing people and things and spiders and ghouls, and there's usually not a whole lot of wiggle room around that part. A lot of the time your choices
Já se teda přiznám, že to mě třeba strašně zklamalo u RDR 2, teďko zpětně, že vy vlastně máte prakticky jednu, občas dvě cesty, jak udělat nějaký quest. A ona ta hra, jakoby jinak ta hra je naprosto fenomenální open world, ale questy jsou prostě zamčený, aby si je udělal tu jednou cestou, což je strašně smutný, bych tak zpětně řekl, ty vole, jo. Ale hold, jako tak to je, no.
Are boiled down to, okay, so do you want to set them on fire first and then shoot them, or just do them raw? If you play Fallout New Vegas, made by Obsidian, those are some RPG-ass RPG choices, where I feel like the player has way more freedom to express themselves morally, ethically, whatever, in a given quest. But as much as I gush about New Vegas on this channel, there is something missing in this game when compared to Fallout 3.
Atmosphere. I think Bethesda...
Spousta lidí mi říkala, že Obsidian chápe Fallout víc než Bethesda. A vůbec by se tomu upřímně nedivil. Vůbec by se nedivil tomu, kdyby se Bethesda najala Obsidian na nový Fallout. Protože oni prostě potřebují jeden jakoby fakt win. A co by to mělo být jiného než Fallout 5, že jo?
Typically crushes that shit.
Even though New Vegas is a much better game mechanically, Betty's world felt a lot more engrossing to explore. Even if a lot of the supposed freedom promised to the player is kind of an illusion. You know, you can't actually kill anyone if they're an essential NPC for a quest line. They just take a nap on the floor. Still, Bethesda does a really great job at making you feel like you're on.
Což tam, by the way, jakoby vůbec do teďka já prostě nechápu, jak může existovat Baldur's Gate 3. Já prostě nechápu, jak ty na začátku jsi schopný zabít 15 essential NPCs a ta hra je pořád dohratelná. Prostě já to fakt nechápu to a prostě přijde mi, že to je úplně nemožný, co se jako bez Baldur's Gate 3 stalo, jo.
Grand adventure.
And the soundtracks, dude, oh my god, the Skyrim soundtrack alone might be up there with Chrono Trigger for like the greatest video game score ever made.
All of these songs make you feel like you're living inside of an ancient blade made of suede. Oh my god, I'm getting real.
Já se člověče přesně myslím, že to je taky jedna z věcí, kterou doteďka lidi říkají okolo Skyrimu, a to je fakt ta atmosféra. A já bych řekl, že člověče i Oblivion má atmosféru. A vlastně i Morrowind, že se jakoby fakt cítíš v takovém fantasy světě. Tohle je reklamní pauza, really?
Really fucking tired of always coming home to this dude saying some more stupid crap. Hi, I'm Jakey, and Jakey, attorneys at law. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video.
Proč.
Is your browser boring? Does it make you want to go outside? No, don't go out there. There's wolves out there. Opera GX is a web browser for gamers that you can customize. In the GX store located over here, you can get a variety of browser mods, such as my own, that have their own background music, keyboard sounds, opening and closing of tab sounds, theme and color of the browser itself, unique wallpaper. You can also disable and enable specific mods in the mods menu located on the sidebar. Does your web browser keep you informed on all things gaming? It doesn't? What the hell? With the GX Core.
Slibuje to ten skem browser. Taky máte člověče všichni pocit, že Opera GX je jakoby dost možná nejhorší browser aktuálně na trhu. Mirka si ho nainstalovala a normálně měla problémy 2 týdny s ramkama. Prostě 2 týdny měla problémy s ramkama, odinstalovala, vyřešeno. Jakože vůbec nechápu, jakoby, co se prostě v tom jakoby stalo, jo, že nevím, prostě přijde by to bylo asi jakoby hodně přehnaný, ale prostě je to prostě další browser, jako no. A to je všechno.
Located over here, Opera GX will keep you up to date with free games, the best deals, the hottest new releases, and gaming news all in one convenient corner. Look at this deal. Look at this deal. Are you seeing the deals? Look at the fucking deals, Derek. Don't worry about losing all your stuff from those other browsers. Opera GX has a handy import tool to quickly take all of your shit like bookmarks and cookies and browsing history from your old rinky-dink browser to your sexy sports car browser. And Opera GX also works with every Google Chrome extension. action. If you download Opera GX using my special link located here or down below, you'll also have access to a unique feature where you'll see all of my 12 most recent videos in your GX corner, so you'll never miss it when I upload a new video in 3 months. Use this link located down below to download Opera GX today. Thanks again to Mr. GX for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on back to whatever the hell Super Nakio JKO 64 is. He's counting stars. Let's see if he counts all 120 of them. He probably didn't even do TikTok clock yet because he's a worthless piece of shit. But because Bethesda games are so unique and so dearly beloved by so many fans, people often give them a free pass when it comes to certain issues because, it's a Bethesda game. What are you gonna do? Issues such...
Já mám pocit, že to je hodně podobně jako Blizzardí hry. Pamatujete si, čete, když ještě Blizzardi dělali hry a všichni vždycky říkali, jo, to je Blizzard, oni to fixnou. Jo, a tohleto se dělo opravdu jako, 20 let? 20 let třeba to Blizzardi dělali takhle, že? A všichni s tím byli v pohodě. A pak najednou, a prostě bylo to kvůli tomu, že oni prostě dělali perfektní hry, že jo? Dneska samozřejmě situace je úplně jako někde jinde. A já mám pocit, že u té Bethesdy to je hodně podobný, že prostě se Starfieldem se to celý tak nějak jako rozbilo.
As dated melee combat and extremely dated gun combat, even for the time. Brain dead enemy AI, clunky UIs that always have to be fixed with mods.
Já se ještě zeptám teďko, čete, jaká byla taková opravdu jako první špatná hra o Bethesdy? Fallout 4? Protože já snad neznám nikoho, kdo by říkal o Fallout 4, že to bylo v pohodě. 76. Jo, takže 76 byla opravdu špatná. Ne, rozhodně. Takže 4 byly zrovna v pohodě a 76 to prostě úplně zabili. OK.
Optimization and performance issues that always have to be fixed with mods. Enough bugs to fill a fucking terrarium that always have to be fixed with mods. If any other AAA shooter had the same issues that Fallout 3 had, where the guns barely even functioned and cast bullets from their mouths like spells from a wizard's sleeve, and the game ran at 6 frames per second on the PS3 because, oops, you saved too many times, don't do that, people would riot. But because these issues are part of a giant package and the appeal is usually greater than a sum of its janky parts, people just kind of go, what are you gonna do? It's a Bethesda game. Which, sure, maybe in 2008, maybe some of this stuff could be ignored. But it is not 2008 anymore. Hell, it is not even 2011, my brother. In a post-Skyrim world...
Jako souhlasím, to, že je schopný modér za jeden den udělat DLSS patch do Starfieldu, který tam Bethesda nebyla schopná dát na launch, to je absolutní tragédie třeba. Jako to bych a je plně funkční, že? Jako, že to je opravdu jako skutečná tragédie tohle.
Where they have re-released that game so many times and it has sold over 60 million copies now. The whole, but it's a Bethesda game excuse is, you guessed it,
shit from a butt.
Fallout 4 was when I could no longer stay blind to Bethesda's strong reluctance to leave the caveman Stone Age prehistoric time.
Dude, you could still feel all of the typical creation jank underneath everything.
You still had to edit an INI file to change the FOV or turn off mouse acceleration. The physics were still tied to the frame rate. The load times could still go on for an eternity. But hey, at least they made guns function like kind of actual guns this time, which should be the bare minimum for a first-person shooter in 2015. Meanwhile, Halo's 14 getting ready for her winter formal. Simple things for a shooter like swap...
No, Halo taky bylo strašně v prdeli no, Halo je třeba... No, Halo je daleko víc v hajzlu, než Bethesda teda. Kdybychom teď porovnávali zrovna tyhle jakoby 2 franchise, jo, ale zase samozřejmě je pravda to, že teda Halo má aspoň pořád jakoby zábavný a funkční multiák, jo.
Weapons or throwing grenades felt super unresponsive and wonky, like the game was constantly fighting you on every delayed input. And again, 2015, this wasn't like a long time ago. But man, I still played the shit out of this game, and it is Fallout 4 is the most bare bones RPG. Where Fallout New Vegas went left toward old school traditional Fallout games, Fallout 4 was like, all right, so...
Já mám fakt strašný strach z těch Falloutích nových her, ty vole. Prostě já, který jsem vlastně jakoby vyrostl na Falloutu 1, 2, tak prostě mám pocit, že když si zahraju 3 a 4, tak to bude za mě strašná sračka. Že prostě, já mám z tohoto jakoby fakt blbej pocit, že to jsou takový Oblivion-like Fallouty prostě a že to bude takový vykastrovaný RPGčko, ty vole. Ale nevím, možná prostě tomu jednoho dne dám šanci a prostě zkusím si to potom srovnat, no. 3 se dá? No, Tak já mám asi špatné informace, jo. Já prostě akorát jsem slyšel to, že 3 je úplně nejhorší, 4 je rozumná, ty vole, a New Vegas je to jediný Fallout, který má způsob od Bethesdy hrát, který vlastně dělal Obsidian, jako jo. Ale zase ono je pravda, že taky ty hry jsou docela jako starý, takže ono má člověk taky trošku jakoby zbastlený názory, že jo, z tohohle.
It's kind of like janky Minecraft but with guns, which turns out is actually pretty fun. The gameplay loop of exploring a detailed Bethesda world filled with cool stuff, getting loot and supplies from fighting baddies and using VATs, using those supplies to upgrade your guns, working on your settlements with the janky-ass builder that also has to be fixed with mods.
Tohle je prej nejlepší část celé hry. Že to stavění té báze je prej jakoby extrémně zábavný a velice funkční. To je jedna z věcí, která mě málo jakoby zajímá.
With the janky ass builder that also has to be fixed with mods. It was all pretty fun to me. Objectively, my critic brain is like, yeah, this game has a lot of flaws and the dialogue system really sucks and the perk tree sucks and the role-playing options are basically non-existent. And the main story makes like zero sense if you stop and think about it, because if someone was searching for their kidnapped baby son, why would they stop and help a bunch of other families first and eat 100 rad roaches? But subjectively, my Bethesda brain is like, ooh, boy, I better scrounge up some more of these desk fans. Even with all its jank, and there is a lot of jank in Fallout 4, like any area downtown just straight up doesn't run well at all. For what it was, I had fun with Fallout 4.
But what it was unfortunately a very crystal clear sign that Bethesda was falling behind the times harder than ever before.
To je dobrý point. Takže Fallout 4 byla zastaralá už když vyšla. Což je 2000, já jsem musel podívat, kdy, ty vole. To je třeba 2017, Fallout, ty bláho. Počkej, to je 2015. To je 2015, už je to fakt tak dlouho? Ty vole. Aha, OK, tak to dokážu pochopit.
Also, I went to kindergarten and first grade here and walked home from school one day and
já jsem taky vyrostl na Falloutu 1, 2 a přitom jsem dohrál všechny ostatní Fallouty, včetně Tactics. Lidi jsou přecitlivělí. To jsou, kámo, no. On řekl N-word, musím mu dát deplatform ze všech platform a ze sociálního života a vyhodit do z práce a zavřít ty vole někam. Jako lidi jsou přecitlivělí, ale já teď jakoby fakt reálně porovnávám ten design, protože bych řekl, že teda Fallout 1 a 2 primárně 2 je nedotknutelná. Oproti všem jakoby ostatním, jo. Ale zase, říkám, jednoho dne se to prostě zkusím zahrát a pak se dáme vědět, no.
Realized we got out early because of 9/11. I don't know why I'm talking about that right now. I wish I could say I was shocked when Fallout 76 turned out to be shit from a butt, but dude, I wasn't shocked at all.
Not trying to be on some cool guy shit, but the second I saw the reveal presentation.
Jakoby Fallout 76 zabila Bethesdu úplně stejně jako zabil Diablo Immortal Blizzard. Že spousta lidí tomu to vzdala a už mu nedala šanci a nedá mu šanci. Ale jakoby byl to docela deal breaker. No.
And how it was gonna run on the same janky ass engine that barely manages to work as a single player game, and now it's gonna be multiplayer online, like www.com type online. Yeah, Todd, and I'll be a monkey's uncle. Oh, my sweet bimbo, you have returned. You all know this story. Game comes out, one of the worst launches ever. Bug terrarium is like 16 times the detail. Bethesda gets super scummy about refunds, and then gets super scummy about pushing these overly priced microtransactions, also cheaps out on the canvas bag that's supposed to be included in the collector's edition.
It was awful. Fallout 76 is like the poster.
Jako doslova o celém tom launchi, tak má historian video. Jak se to jmenuje? Fallout 76. A kolik to má? Asi 60 milionů views. A de facto tam jenom, on tam ani nerozebírá ten gameplay, on tam jenom rozebírá ty kontroverze okolo toho launche prostě a to je všechno. Jo. Což je úplně šílený.
For taking advantage of a devout fan base and releasing a clearly unfinished, faulty product.
I'll see a lot of people online chalk up 76's failure to, well, it wasn't Todd and his main team that made the game. It was there was their B team, Bethesda Austin, but I'm pretty sure that's not the full story. According to several anonymous devs that worked on 76, as quoted in this Kotaku article that you should check out, people from multiple Bethesda studios worked on this game. Senior staff from Fallout 4's team, staff taken away from the Starfield team, staff taken away from the Redfall team at Arcane, which, Jesus Christ, that's a whole thing on its own. Jiminy Cricket, and a jockstrap. 76, as described in this article, sounded like a massive live service black hole that no one wanted to touch, because the writing was all over the bug-covered walls that it was never going to end well. But in typical AAA game dev fashion, QA teams get treated like total shit.
No hlavně veliký problém, který Fallout 70 Česka má, tak je to, že to je MMOčko. A MMOčko je živý, je prostě jenom v momentě, kdy máš komunitu hráčů, která to bude hrát no matter what. A já se nejsem jistý, jestli tohle je skutečně jakoby titul, u kterého bych chtěl strávit 1000 hodin. Je, že kdybychom to vzali, Vovko třeba mělo jakoby svoje opravdu hodně špatné roky. Vys třeba Shadowlands, že jo? A kus BFA, ale prostě pořád to hráli jakoby 100 000 hráčů minimálně. Jo, takže ty si prostě měl vždycky se od čeho odrazit. A když prostě ta hra opravdu jakoby nefunguje, nebo spíš jakoby nikdo nehraje, tak proč bys to jakoby zkoušel, že jo?
And upper management ignores issues raised and continue to force everyone to crunch toward this deadline they knew they were never gonna make. And yeah, Todd Howard may have not directed 76, but he's still listed as executive producer. And he's the one that went on the big stage and was like, this is the biggest fucking game we've ever made. It's 16 times awesome. You're all gonna nut. Yo, run that John Denver joint. And the pre-orders go crazy and everyone's hyped out of their minds. And then it comes out and it's atrocious. And suddenly now Todd is all, yeah, we knew it wasn't gonna be like a high Metacritic score game, but you know what? It sold really well. It's not about how it starts, it's about what it becomes. Thank you very much. Yo, run that John Denver joint.
Come on, man.
According to that same article, Todd was very adamant on the whole no NPCs feature, no matter how much the dev team pleaded that it was an insane choice for Bethesda. You know, the studio most closely associated with NPCs. But also, maybe Todd isn't the main bad guy responsible, you know? Maybe he was just under a lot of pressure from big money investors at parent company ZeniMax to make a live service cash cow that would exploit fans and inevitably...
No, jasně, ale tohleto mě jako zákazníka vůbec nezajímá. Ty si prostě kupuješ hru, která dneska stojí třeba 100 € a mě fakt jako nezajímá, že byly vývojové problémy, že lidi jsou pod tlakem, že akce... Nezajímá mě to prostě. Fakt mě to, kámo, jakoby nezajímá. Ty si kupuješ produkt. Kdyby si skoupil za 1000 € telefon, ze kterého se nedá volat, tak taky s tím budeš mít prostě problém, ty vole. A takhle by měli hráči přistupovat k hrám. Prostě v momentě, kdy opravdu jakoby AAA studia vydávají absolutně nefunkční rozbitý hry, tak prostě jako refund. Nezajímá mě to, ty vole. Jo, jako hold je to takový, že spousta lidí s tímhle nějakým způsobem prostě pořád moc jako nekooperuje a pořád prostě berou to, že hry jsou něco jako menšího než produkty. Mě třeba objektivně přijde 100 € za produkt, který mnohdy trvá vytvořit 5 let, několika stovkám lidí přijde jako směšná cena. No, to je v pořádku, ale musí fungovat. Chápeš? Musí fungovat a hlavně ty si kupuješ digitální produkt, že jo? Ty si prostě pořád kupuješ akorát strinky, jedniček a nul, že jo? Tohle jak tomu? To zjistil, že Starfield nevyhrál žádný award v TGA.
And the Game Award goes to Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3.
Ano.
Baldur's Gate 3. Congratulations, Larian. The game of the year is Baldur's Gate 3.
Ježiš, kámo, to je tak skvělý tohle. Ježiš, to je tak skvělý. Ach jo, ty vole. Dobrý, tak to budeme co jiného dodat. Výborně, absolutní swipe, ano.
Make a ton of money.
I don't know all the details, but there's enough breadcrumbs to make it insane to me that someone along the food chain with authority, whether top...
On si doslova rozdělal oheň kvůli videu na YouTube. Tohle nevypadá jako green screen, kámo.
Or otherwise, didn't stop and adamantly scream,
"Hey, let's maybe delay this game permanently."
But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Regardless of whose fault 76 was, the damage was done and the pressure was on. After an underwhelming and outdated Fallout 4 and an underbaked and severely malnourished Fallout 76, Bethesda...
Zajímavý, takže teda ten názor na Fallout 4 je takový rozporuplný, teda jo. Takže mám tady teda v chatu spoustu lidí, kteří jakoby fakt Fallout 4 jakože to byl totální banger. A pak teda teďko jakoby zpětně se spíš jakoby hledají chyby na té hře, jo. To je zajímavý. Já jsem teda fakt, já jsem snad někdy od někoho neslyšel, že by to byla dobrá hra, ty vole. A to, možná jsem zase v nějaký bublině, člověče, no.
Really needed to reach for the Skyrim once again and dunk another.
Jo, kámo, dobrý point, nevycházel náhodou Fallout 4 vedle Zaklínače? Byl to banger kvůli moodům jakože ty Bethesda hry? Že jo? 2015. Říkám to správně? Chat, halo, budíček už 1 odpoledne. Ježišmarja. Po Zaklínačovi to vycházelo. Jo, takže to bylo ještě po Zaklínači. OK, děkuju.
Classic into our laps. But Todd, you don't play basketball.
He plays chess.
Ta hudba, kámo. Musíme jednou dohrát ten Skyrim.
I was writing games when I was, 12, whatever. And the other kids in the block would say, I'm going to play quarterback for the Cowboys. And I'd be like, I'm going to make video games and everyone's going to play them. Like, you dork. Go back to the chess club. Who's laughing now? Yes, I was in the chess club.
It's hard not to like Todd Howard. He has this Michael Scott type charisma that's weirdly hard to resist.
And I find his story of repeatedly applying to Bethesda only to be rejected over and over really inspiring.
Because once he got his leather jacket ass wearing through that door, he would direct Morrowind, executive produce Oblivion, direct both Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Love him or hate him.
Jako, ať si říká, kdo chce, co chce, tak člověk, který byl režisérem Morrowindu, tak nemůže být špatný designér, prostě. Já teda osobně beru Morrowind jako jednu z nejlepších videoher všech dob a přijde mi, že doteďka to nemá skoro jakoby oponenta. Možná Gothic si musím zahrát někdy konečně, abych taky měl teda konečně jakoby komplexní názor k tomuhle, ale tohle je prostě jakoby fakt něco, co do teďka nechápu, jo.
Executive produce Oblivion, direct both Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Love him or hate him, the man's resume speaks for itself. And good God, would you look at that jacket. For being considered AAA, Bethesda is not a very big studio. Around 100 people made Skyrim, and they currently only employ like 420 people across all of their studios. For comparison, at least 1,000 people worked on GTA 5 before its release, and 6,000 different people have worked on it since, which is crazy to me considering how slow GTA Online still is.
On the one hand, I think it's really impressive that Bethesda is much smaller than other big-name studios because it means they must have some really powerful paladins over there casting some serious buffs.
But also, when you're making that AAA money and your games continue to come out janky as shit,
maybe hire some more fucking people to make your games actually function properly when you sell them for $70.
One source from that same article said, Bethesda is a big company that thinks it's a small company with a mentality of, well, this works.
Doplním to, že rockstáři zaměstnávají tisíce lidí, tak je fakt jenom odrazem toho, jaký oni dělají produkty. Jo, že de facto, kdybychom to zkusili porovnat, to, co dělá Rockstar s hrama, tak by měl dělat Marvel s filmama. Prostě oni by měli mít tisíce a tisíce lidí na čekování lore, charakterů, prostě scénář a tak dále, protože když ten film vydělá miliardu dolarů, tak by skutečně měla být zatím jako nějaká prostě realistická práce a ne ten amatérismus, který prostě oni s tím dělají, jo.
In the 90s, so we're just gonna keep doing it. I mean, yeah, after playing Starfield, that's definitely what it feels like. Boy, I'll tell you what, I booted that son bitch up. It was like seeing an X for the first time in 8 years. A poorly optimized X who struggles to have human-like facial expression.
Ježíš, kámo, to je úplně přesný, ty vole. Taky jsem viděl teďko svoji X a úplně si člověk říká, tak jsem byl, kámo, ožralý během celého toho vztahu. Že si úplně jakoby říkáš, ty vole, to není možný prostě, kámo, jako já jsem asi prostě chodil s někým jiným, jo. A pak si jakoby teda zamyslíš a řekne si, tak jakoby byla jiná doba, ale byla to vlastně jakoby jiná doba, jo. A úplně, no to je jedno, jo, to je úplně mimo téma, ale tohle je docela jakoby dost dobrý porovnání s Starfieldem.
Poorly optimized X who struggles to have human-like facial expressions. Starfield isn't even just Skyrim again, but in space, which was always Todd's elevator pitch. No, It would be such an improvement if it was. But no, this is not a Bethesda game based on the definition the dumbass by the piano gave earlier. That signature Bethesda open world exploration and sense of scale and freedom and that feeling of, ooh, there's something interesting around every corner.
Gone.
But Jarbo, there's like 1,000 planets. How can it get any more open world?
Yes, kámo, kdyby prostě aspoň Starfield fungoval stejně jako funguje Skyrim, a to je prostě to, že někam jdeš a něco objevíš. Nějakou kopku, nějaký ty vole prostě bandity, který zabiješ, nějaký quest, něco prostě. Ve Starfieldu se neděje nic. Je to akorát simulátor loadingu, no.
Than that. Yeah, and you want to know what you do on 99% of those 1,000 planets?
This.
Yes, no.
You walk and walk and walk and sprint and jump and jetpack jump and get really good at watching your O2 sprint meter go up and down and up and down. There is no rover to drive. There is no ship to fly. You just walk and walk and walk until you get to the most copy-pasted structure that you have already seen a bunch of times.
Starfield is the exploration equivalent of holding the Player 2 controller that isn't actually plugged in. It is the illusion of planetary exploration.
Já se teda zeptám, je tady v chatu někdo, koho actually bavilo prozkoumovat ty planety? Já už jsem to říkal během asi 15 videí o Starfieldu, ale prostě kdyby tam těch planet bylo 10, anebo 8 a byly všechny zajímavý, tak by to nikomu nevadilo. Prostě jakoby daleko radši pár funkčních planet než 1000 prázdných, no.
Taped together by 1,000 loading screens and a strong desire to waste so much of your time.
Let's talk about fast travel. Can you say fast travel? Fast travel.
Fast travel.
Can you say loading screen?
Loading screen.
Loading screen. Loading screen before fast travel? After fast travel. Loading screen. Fast traveling to complete a quest. Fast traveling to start a quest. That's so silly. Loading screen. Peekaboo. Loading screen. Can you say fast travel? Wasting your time? No. Wasting my time? Yes. 2023? Bethesda released this in 2023. Oh no! Can you say leather jacket?
In other Bethesda games, you wanted to
Jako je to cringe, ale tohle je fakt doslova 50% gameplay ve Starfieldu. Jako neironicky.
Walk to your destinations because fast traveling meant you might miss out on some neat dungeon or cool, unique structure or wacky enemy along the way.
Not only is fast travel highly recommended whenever possible in Starfield, but it is straight up required.
You cannot fly your ship from planet to planet or even on a single planet. You can enter your ship with a nice loading screen and then sit in your pilot's chair with a nice unskippable animation and then take off with another nice loading screen and then pick your destination from space and fast travel there with another loading screen and then click on the planet to land with another loading screen. Or if your destination is in space, do another unskippable animation to dock your ship followed by another immediate loading screen. But hopefully if you've already discovered the specific location you want to go to, you can just fast travel straight there. The second I realized I was avoiding my ship whenever possible, you know, the central core part of a space exploration game, it was over. The most heartbreaking part is that the shipbuilder is fucking...
Nejhorší na tom je to porovnání s No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky. Leď, přistaň si kde chceš, ty vole. Aha, oni ti napadli banditi. Tak zabiju je, nebo jim uteču. Kámo, ty vole, to je prostě úplně... To je tak hrozný rozdíl, ty vole.
Amazing. It's like virtual Legos. It is by far the best new thing Bethesda did with this game. But where do you get to fly your ship that you just lovingly spent 3 hours making? In orbit! Yay!
Let's fucking go!
If you want to see your magnificent creation actually move around, then fast travel on up to space and float around fighting bad guys and running away from cops with the awful bounty system, which I will get to later. I will spend way too much time talking about that later. What's really weird is that between the different elements you can mine on planets and the different things you can prioritize within the shipbuilder, there's enough breadcrumbs here to assume that at one point Starfield was probably more of a survival type space game. Meaning that...
Vidím tu subnautiku tam. Ty píčo, kámo, já se stojí péro. Moment. Já jsem sem sednout normálně. Dám si nohy od sebe a pokračujeme.
Landing on a planet maybe served more of a purpose than just sort of wandering around aimlessly. Maybe the temperature changes in extreme conditions actually mattered more than they currently do, which is like, not really at all. The shipbuilder even has options to upgrade the fuel tanks or grav drive so that you can jump further into a system. But if you don't upgrade those things, that's fine too. You'll just have to fast travel to a closer system first, and then fast travel to the one you actually want to go to. So upgrading that stuff in your ship just saves you from seeing 2 loading screens.
No, tam docela prostě měla být taková progrese, že prostě pokud nemáš nějaký typ hyperdriveu, nebo jak oni tomu říkají ve Starfield, tak prostě se tam nemůžeš portnout. Tohle prostě mělo být oddělený. Dopadali, když tohleto uměl i spor snad, ne? Teď i ve skurveném sporu, ty vole. Tak byly týry takových těch jednotlivých planet a galaxií, které byly dál od sebe prostě, že jo? A ty se musel potom dostat do toho středu galaxie. Nebo co to vlastně vesmíru. Ano.
How is this game real?
Starfield has 1,000 planets, and I wish it had like 5.
Yeah, not every planet in real life space would have a bunch of cool stuff on it either.
Yeah, duh. But that's not my point.
My point is that this is not really a good illusion of anything other than the unfortunate passage of time. No Man's Sky can also have some boring-ass procedurally generated planets. But you know what? At least you can actually fly to them. Playing Starfield is like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, but every time he's about to do it, he's like, no, you gotta close your eyes while I do it though. But what about I'm not a Best Buy Geek Squad looking ass. Don't say I am. Starfield may have been made with the shiny new creation engine too, but you ain't fooling anyone with that too, Todd. You may have slapped a spoiler on it, but it's still a fucking Geo Metro. I'm still editing an INI file just to change the FOV or turn off mouse acceleration to make aiming feel better. I'm still clicking on doors and seeing that all too familiar fade out loading screen all the time.
Why did you not optimize this game for PC?
We did. It's running great. It is a next-gen PC game. We really do push the technology, so you may need to upgrade your PC for this game, but it's got a lot of great stuff going on in it, and the fans are responding awesome.
All right, Todd, I upgraded my PC.
No, kámo, je to velice neférová otázka, abychom byli jako féroví. A tak to holt je, no. I ve starém freelancerovi byly FTL hyperdrive motory na vylepšování a odemykal se s tím content. No, tak to je úplně stejný, no.
But I still can't turn on HDR or even mess with the brightness settings, even though the Xbox version already has HDR. And to get a decent frame rate, I have to use upscaling, but I have an NVIDIA card and you only have FSR supported with no DLSS. Oh, someone already modded DLSS into the game within like a couple days? Oh, programmers are making comprehensive breakdowns on Reddit detailing just how poorly optimized the game is?
Nah, if Todd said it's optimized, then it's probably optimized. I believe him. I will follow my Nord brother into the pearly gates of Sovngarde and finally graze my hand upon that holy leather.
Breaking news, as of November 15th, Bethesda is finally patching Starfield, adding an FOV slider, poorly implemented HDR, and much-needed DLSS support. Along with clear massive performance gains for both CPU and GPU areas, it's almost as if the game did in fact launch very unoptimized. The timing...
Výborně, takže už je to konečně i v hratelném stavu. Výborně, takže už je to akorát nudná hra teďko, ale už je to hratelný. Skvělý.
Couldn't be better. 2 months after everyone already stopped playing it.
This game hurts my stupid giant head. I can't understand it. I can't seem to do anything right after experiencing this so-called game. Oh my god, I didn't even bring that up yet. God damn it.
In Starfield, you can build settlements, and you have more freedom than ever with the builder, but there's not a whole lot of motivators to interact with it other than harvesting resources from a planet largely void of life. Add that to the super confusing structure of actually trying to connect your settlements across star systems and all the fast travel screens in between and your ship cargo and your inventory and getting over encumbered and ugh. In Fallout 4 it wasn't fun because the builder was good. Hell no. It's janky as hell and super frustrating. But it was fun because you were bringing life back into the apocalypse and building off of really cool existing unique structures so that the dumbass settlers could take back the land. But all of that was powered by the initial core desire of actually wanting to go out and explore and shoot stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. You shoot guns in this game. Starfield also has guns.
Jako, zase třeba ještě řeknu další věc, mně prostě přijde, že ten design Starfieldu je strašně jakoby vykastrovaný kvůli tomu, že oni to dělali prostě pro každýho hráče, jo. A mně se třeba stalo to, že já jsem omylem dostal se na nějakou planetu a teďka mi třeba prostě chybí to, že ty tam ztroskotáš a musí postavit bázi, aby ses dokázal dostat zpátky do toho vesmírného prostoru třeba, jo. Taková úplně základní věc. Nic takového se tam prostě pořádně jako neděje, jo. A teď jsem chtěl něco říct a vypadlo mi teďko, co jsem chtěl kurně říct, ty vole. Nevím. Jo, s tím, že teda, nevím, jak to třeba vnímáte vy osobně, jo. Mně teda třeba daleko přišlo, že Skyrim byla docela těžká hra na launch. Je, že když nevíš, co máš stavět, jak to máš hrát a tak dále, tak je na ten debilní normál, tak jako by Skyrim nebyl vůbec jednoduchý. A mi prostě přijde, že ten přechod z toho aspoň trochu challenging RPG do takového toho vykastrovaného Starfieldu je prostě hrozný, jo.
Starfield has perks just like Fallout 4, and one of those perks is called Rapid Reload, and it does exactly what you think it would do. It makes your reloads faster.
At least that's what it should do. I'm a gamer. I like going fast. Throw it on, Todd. Send me the bill. It's on the house.
Days later, I'm playing the game and I throw my last grenade. I reload my gun, and it's way faster than usual. What's going on here? Come to find out, that perk hasn't worked the entire time I've had it, because evidently, if I have any sort of throwable equipped rapid reload, it just doesn't work. I thought maybe I was alone, but nope.
Really?
I looked it up, and apparently it's a common bug that, at least as of November 15th, still persists. Also, you know that text that appears at the top of the screen in Bethesda games?
Takže doslova ve hře je perk, který jakoby reálně nefunguje. Neuvěřitelně.
When you're doing stealth that says hidden. Not only does this 2023 game use the same bare bones stealth mechanics that are like 20 years old at this point, seeing that text up top, that's a perk now. And you can spend another whole ass perk point, and I quote, to upgrade the stealth meter, which just shows you if you're being close to being detected, which is basically exactly what the eye reticle thing already did in Skyrim.
Well, this is way better and worth spending the point, trust me.
The gunplay in Starfield is an improvement over Fallout 4, but that's like saying a bicycle is an improvement over a Razor scooter. It's still not an AK-47. The guns generally work a bit better with less delay. You're a bit more agile. You have a jetpack, which sometimes that can be fun. But as a shooter, in 2023, this game is still getting lapped by games.
Já teda nevím, mně přijde, že, klidně to řeknu, že střelba ve Starfieldu byla prostě nuda. Prostě byla to nuda. Nic zajímavého. Nic jsem tam nenašla zajímavého.
2012, hell, games from 2007, 2004. I'm serious, sit down, play Starfield for an hour, and then go boot up Far Cry 3, or BioShock, or Call of Duty 4, or any game in the orange box, and then go back to Starfield and tell me how it feels.
Právě, no.
Especially on controller, it just feels wrong. Fallout 4's shooting was barely serviceable only because of everything that surrounded it. It worked good enough because you got to explore a cool map and frequently fight cool, varied enemies using VATS. In Starfield, the cool map is gone.
Jo, takhle chápu, že jakoby ve Falloutu to lidi zvládli, protože ve Falloutu bylo strašně cool jiných věcí než ta střelba. Že to byl takovej doplněk toho gameplay prostě. Jo,
enemies are sometimes varied, but it is predominantly brain-dead humanoid space pirates that will just stand there and let you shoot them. And that doesn't exist anymore.
So
the act of shooting someone needed to feel really, really good. Throw in the still clunky melee combat, the super unintuitive UI of menus inside of menus, and the D-pad weapon swapping from Fallout 4 because apparently having a weapon wheel might make the creation engine explode. And what you have is a worse version of something that you have already played
8 years ago.
All right,
so what about quests? Bethesda has always been so strongly associated with NPCs and quests.
Here's an example of the most common basic-ass type of quest in Skyrim. Hey, can you go to this dungeon and kill a bad guy? All right, sounds good. You know what? I'm even just gonna walk over there because it's not that far. Whoa, what's this? A dragon? In this economy? Well, I mean, I'm here. I may as well ladder stall tomahawk the dragon real quick. All right, that's done. What was I doing? Oh, right, the dungeon. Oh, well, hold on a second. There's a cave right here.
Yes. Úplně typický Skyrim gameplay.
20 minutes later.
Ano.
All right, that was a pretty cool cave, and I feel like I got some cool shit out of that. Anyways, dungeon. All right, let me just stealth archer these freaks real quick, get some loot. Okay. I'm done. That was a pretty enjoyable, fun hour of gameplay I just got to experience. Here's an example of the most common basic-ass type of quest.
To je úplně typický open world gameplay prostě. Aha, tamhle je nějaká věc, ty vole. Dobrý. No a pak člověk chodí prostě 16 hodin a ztrácí se v tom, ano. Tak to má být.
In Starfield. Hey, we lost our scientist friends. Can you go find him? We don't know where he is because we don't have any walkie-talkies or email or texting or cell phones in this planet, in this world. Yeah, sure, I guess. All right. Damn. He's kind of out there. Whatever. I'm sure some cool stuff will happen along the way.
5 minutes later.
Man, I sure am getting pretty good at sprinting and jetpacking, and you know, I bet the cave will have like a cool monster in it or something once I get there. Oh, it's literally just you. And now I have to take you back with me? Well, okay, apparently I can just fast travel back, but I don't take you with me. So I just went to tell you that your friends are looking for you, and now you're finding your own way back and going back. So why the hell did I even need to come find you in the first place?
What the hell even is this game, dude?
I shit you not. That
Co to je kurva za quest tohle? WTF?
type of quest pops up all the time. And even if it is an Operation Go Rescue Baby...
Kámo, to je strašný, takže to je doslova quick travel na planetu, tam doběhneš na bod, pak dáš quick travel na zpátek do lodi, pak dáš quick travel k tomu NPC a to mu řekne, že to našel a to je všechno, jo. Ježiš, tak to je ještě daleko horší, jsem si nemá myslel.
Scientist, it is something similarly mindless and uninspired. A lot of quests in Starfield just play out as a game of fast travel telephone, where you talk to one person and they're like, hey, go tell this person in another galaxy that I said this. And you're like, okay, and you go through several fast travel loading screens and land at a place and go through another loading screen and then walk through a city and get to another place to talk to them. And then you finally talk to the person and they're like, well, tell them that I said this. And so you do all of that again and you go through all the fast travel loading screens and the loading screens and the entering building loading screens and you're like, all right, well, they said this. And it's like, is this what we're doing now? Like if I'm like 8 years old and you told me like, take all the graphics and stuff away, they're like, hey, this is what video games are gonna be like. I'd be like, what the fuck? And this game is not a super in-depth choice, complex, branching, narrative, rich dialogue, CRPG. Like, I don't expect that from Bethesda, and that's fine, I never have. But if you're not that, and you're also not successfully doing the thing that...
Kámo, vidím to správně? Tohle je Planescape Torment? Ty krávo, já to vidím a úplně si vybavuju ten quest, ty vole. Holy shit. To bylo
But if you're not that, and you're also not successfully doing the thing that largely defines your games, aka satisfying and rewarding open world exploration, then what the hell even are you? Like, I don't know what genre I would even call this game. Oh no, I'm being... Hold up, we're gonna collect on a bounty. Oh man, we're gonna talk about the bounty in a bit. That's really funny timing. All right, well, sorry, gaming. Before the game came out, Phil Spencer, Xbox guy, said something along the lines of, I don't remember exactly, but it was like, I played it so many hours, whatever. I'm going full space pirate.
And I got excited when I heard this because I love game systems that let you fuck around and find out.
I'm sure some of you remember how I obsessed over the Wanted bounty system in Red Dead 2 because I just love pushing things and trying to understand how they mechanically work.
I think I could confidently say that the Wanted bounty system in Starfield is far worse than in Red Dead 2.
Being an evil space pirate in Starfield is...
No, možná dobrá teďko spíš otázka je, existuje vůbec nějaká hra, která má dobrý bounty systém? Přemýšlím, protože RDR 2 je jakoby nic moc, že jo? GTAčko, tak tam prostě jako, je to takový jako strašně... nativní v tom, že teda něco zabiješ, něco uděláš, tak jako jdou hvězdičky nahoru. A ve Starfieldu to ještě zjistíme, ty vole. Napadá vás něco? Co má jakoby realisticky fakt dobrý bounty systém? Že vám to třeba zamkne, nevím, gameplay. Origins měl zajímavý bounty systém. Origins, jo. Really? Cyberpunk, teďko znova. Zaklínač 3. Zaklínač 3 má nějaký bounty systém? WTF? Jo, to jste špatně pochopili, čete. Já se teďko nebavím o systému, že ty něco uděláš a půjdu po tobě policajti. Já se bavím o bounty systému, jako v RDR 2, že ty se musíš vyplatit z nějakého města, aby ti tam třeba pustili a nezastřelili ty vole hnedka na potkání. Nebo ti to třeba zamkne nějaký questy a tak dále a tak dále. Toho jsem právě myslel třeba. Mám pocit, že třeba Kingdom Come to dělá celkem dobře tohle, že jo. Freedom se tomu taky. OK. Takže prostě tituly, které jsou lepší, tu jsou.
so strongly discouraged that it is borderline impossible. There's a quest that you could find early on, but the first time you get arrested, you get taken to this ship and this cop, lieutenant guy, whatever, I don't remember his name. Hey, we don't actually want to throw you in jail, but we want you to be an informant in the space pirate fleet departed style, you fucking rat. And while conversing with this guy, at one point I saw the dialogue option that was essentially, "F you, I'm fighting my way off this ship."
So obviously I quick saved and then immediately did that.
It was a total bloodbath. Like, I killed so many dudes and I racked up such a high bounty, but I noticed that a lot of the named NPCs wouldn't actually die when I shot them, which was a bit concerning, but I just kept on fighting. And eventually I fought my way all the way into the cockpit, and there was a second where I was like, oh shit, am I about to hijack this police ship and get the fuck out of here? Nope, can't fly this ship. And before people go in the comments and say, oh,
you are not authorized to fly this ship. It's
because you gotta upgrade your pilot license thing. Nope, you still can't fly it. You can't fly this ship, or a whole lot of other ships for that matter, no matter what. Just like you can't kill a lot of NPCs, no matter what, because Bethesda wants you to do space their way.
This ship isn't exclusive to just that quest either.
If you've played the game, you know that a lot of the times when you land on a planet, another ship will coincidentally land around the same time, and you can see them and run over there and fight them. And you would assume, I just killed all these pirates. All right, logical next step, loot the ship, take the ship. But a lot of the time, not every time, but a lot of the time, at least for me, it just wouldn't let me. Most of the time I just saw this prompt and I didn't know why. So that bounty I mentioned during the shootout with the space cops, yeah, it's very easy to quickly rack.
To se spíš tváří, že to jako není hotový jako systém tohle. To je strašně zvláštní. To se tak jako, když nechtějí, aby si tohleto dělal, tak proč tam vůbec jakoby pustili, že?
A very high bounty in this game. And whenever you travel to a planet that has a major city, they do a forced contraband scan on your ship before you can land.
Do I even like video games anymore?
They also check to see if you have a bounty in that star system. Contraband can be hidden to help avoid detection on the scan, but it requires having hidden cargo space on your ship.
Why am I here? Why am I doing any of this?
Normal items that you can pickpocket or steal aren't marked as contraband, but they are marked as stolen items, and they have this little red icon, but contraband items always have this orange icon because it means they're extra illegal.
Help me.
So let's start here. Say you want to be a grimy little space thief, so you're constantly pickpocketing and stealing stuff wherever you go. In typical Bethesda fashion, a lot of the time, if you're sneaking and stealing, you won't get caught stealing. Hope you spent the perk point on the stealth thing, but oops, sometimes you just do get detected, even if no one is around to witness you murder that person except that person, or no one is around to witness you steal that cup except that cup. Suddenly, everyone in the galaxy knows that it was specifically you that stole that cup, even though apparently cell phones or email or fax machines or texting don't exist based on the context of most of our fucking quest objectives.
I don't want to do this anymore. Please let me go.
So now you have a bounty in that star system, and then you're like, well, if I already have the bounty, then I guess I'll just keep doing it. And if anyone gets in my way, I'll shoot him because I'm a freak. That's my identity now. I'm a freak. I wasn't born this way, but I was molded by Todd and his leather. So you're traveling around, stealing stuff from all these planets.
Tak kámo, tak tohle třeba jako jedna z věcí, kterou jsem ani nevěděl, že nejde dělat, protože prostě představ se, že ty by si chtěl být přesně Space Pirate a prostě nemůžeš, kámo. Ale nemůžeš ne kvůli tomu, že by to třeba nešlo jakoby v engineu udělat, nebo že by to Bethesda nesládla udělat, ale prostě protože oni nechtěli to do té hry implementovat. Oni prostě chtěli, aby se to hráli jako jejich způsobem.
Trying to have a grand old time and your bounty is getting pretty stacked. But oh shit, there's a main story mission in a city that you haven't been to yet in a star system that you have that giant bounty in. You get scanned, the cops are pissed. You can choose to fight them off and grab drive fast travel away, but if you want to ever enter that city, you're gonna have to do something about that bounty. So you warp back, and this time you're like, all right, well, I can't pay the bounty because it's insane, so I guess take me to jail. And when you go to jail in this game, the cops will not only remove every single item from your inventory that was ever stolen, which slowly lists away at the top of the screen one by one, which this is never explained in the game as like some lore accurate space technology that tracks ownership. It's just magic where a cop 4 planets away knows that you stole this specific pen. But your punishment for jail time is an XP debt. It will never lower your current level, but it will erase any current XP progress that you've made towards leveling up, and potentially even put you into the negative as well if it's high enough.
which it will be.
This is kind of like how jail time and Oblivion could randomly lower some of your skills. Starfield says, hey, we know we can't actually force the player to sit in a jail cell, but we want there to be some sort of consequence for it being bad. And part of me is like, damn, that's actually kind of interesting and creative, except leveling up takes a long-ass time in this game. For example, to level from level 10 to level 11, it's around 900 XP, and it only gets exponentially more grindy the higher you get. So if you have a high bounty, which is not hard to get, you will be...
Já vůbec nechápu, proč ty levely jsou ve Starfieldu takhle strašně špatně odstupňovaný. Protože já jsem už toto vyprávěl během své původní recenze Starfieldu, že prostě já jsem si chtěl vyzkoušet nějaký perky, ale já jsem prostě nemohl. Protože já bych musel třeba stát v lokaci a zabíjet mobky a dělat sidequesty, nevím, den, aby prostě dokázal toto využít, jo. Zračka.
Have fun crawling out of that hole, you filthy little pirate bitch. It's also worth noting that much like a lot of stuff in this game, this mechanic is barely explained at all, and the only way to realize that you are in XP debt or track it is to look at the status screen.
I understand having some sort of punishment for doing something bad and getting caught. I really do.
But when leveling is this grindy, and the perks you get from leveling up don't actually work, or just straight up aren't worth it, and the game requires you to be scanned in order to land on certain planets because you can't actually just fucking fly the ship to the planet in this goddamn space game. Being punished this harshly for choosing a playstyle that is supposed to be viable in this so-called RPG is just super disappointing.
Starfield would be a disappointment regardless of whatever year it came out.
Kámo, to je hrozná stračka tohleto prostě. Doslova i v tom debilním Skyrimu, když tě zavřu do vězení, tak pokud máš aspoň schovaný lockpick a nějaký level na lockpicking, tak se schopný z toho utíct třeba, že jo? A něco zajímavého udělat. Tohle je fakt jakoby děsivý prostě.
No, but unfortunately for Bethesda, 2023 was obscenely stacked with fantastic games in each of those specific genres that Starfield takes turns cosplaying as.
It is an open world exploration game with little to no actual meaningful exploration. It is a glorified looter shooter that is still catching up to games that are now old enough to be in high school. And it is a role-playing game with so few meaningful roles to actually play and relationships to engage with.
I really want to like this game. I am always going to cheer for Todd and Bethesda because they have given me so many amazing, memorable experiences for the past 20 years that have largely influenced my love for gaming.
I want the next Elder Scrolls game to knock it out of the park. I will always root for anyone trying to make an ambitious video game.
But after seeing what Bethesda has put out over the last decade, I just couldn't contain these thoughts and feelings any longer.
I hope this video was at least kind of interesting, or at the very least digestible in a way that sort of made sense, even though I feel like I should be in the psych ward.
If you could still see me right now, thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.
This is actually my off-road ball because when I was filming the campfire scenes, my dumbass didn't realize that a yoga ball that I've been using for like 6 years shouldn't go out in the woods where there's like prickly goat head things, and I popped a bunch of holes in it. But fortunately, my sister, the same one that I stole the original yoga ball from, had another gray yoga ball that's like got a bunch of ribs on it. So this my off-road ball. Also, I only realized recently that there's like no aliens in Starfield, like big-eyed gray fuckers from Signs, not a single one.
Počkat, ve Starfieldu nejsou žádní alieni? Ve Starfieldu nejsou žádní alieni? 1000 planet. Tohle jsem ani třeba nevěděl, kámo. WTF? Je tam akorát alien. To je skvělý. Výborně. No, podle mě výborný rozbor. A tohle je, kámo, perfektní komentář. Nikdy nechceš, aby někdo byl schopný popsat tvůj quest ve hře, jako tohle mohl být e-mail. Ano. Doslova stačilo tomu týpkovi poslat e-mail, scháníme tě, prosím, vrať se zpátky a bylo by to hotovo. Nepotřebuješ někam cestovat, nepotřebuješ, kámo, z toho dělat sidequest. Prostě pošli mu mail, vyřešeno. Ale ty bláho, to je sranda. OK.